Well, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone's having a lovely day and that you had a marvelous evening last night as well. We've got lots of information to go over today. First of all, we're going to be hitting the coverage on the second Super Tuesday we had yesterday. Several states had their primaries, and it looks like, once again, President Trump is the clear winner. We're also going to be hitting a special public service announcement from my friends M3thods and Whitehat, some information that we felt it was too important not to include today. Joe Biden has also dropped some information on potential cabinet picks, and you won't be surprised when you see who they are. Also, it looks like the Freedom Caucus is going to be holding a stand against the FISA renewal. That is excellent news. And we've also got some footage of Joe Biden freaking out at a Detroit auto worker, and probably a whole lot more. So please, everyone, do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. In a recent news report, web browsers Chrome, Firefox, and Safari were found to be sending users' browsing history and personal identifying information to external servers in what is undoubtedly a worrisome trend. These three were ranked among the lowest privacy category the study conducted, and chances are that you're using one of these browsers when you surf the internet. Now imagine someone you don't know seeing what you search and when on a daily basis, and also knowing where you live. Sounds pretty creepy, right? Well, this is why using Virtual Shield VPN is the recommended choice to help reduce any type of privacy risk from prying eyes. Let's take a look, and I can show you how easy it is to protect yourself. So I've downloaded Virtual Shield from virtualshield.com/redpill78. I've installed it. I click connect, and there you go. You can see that my IP address has changed. I'm now protected. Now, it's March Madness month, and to celebrate, Virtual Shield is offering a special of 30% off all VPN plans plus all premium add-ons, including Protection Plus, Residential Access, and VIP Performance plans for as low as a cup of coffee. Sign up today for a 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN and see what the hype is about. You've got nothing to lose. You can go to virtualshield.com/redpill78, get 30% off and a free month. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. First of all, today we're going to talk about the election results from yesterday. Now, the Democratic primary was held in many states, and of course that means that people also had the opportunity to vote for President Trump in the Republican primary. Ronna McDaniel here says, "Congratulations, real Donald Trump, on winning the Michigan primary. For years, I watched the Democratic Party fail my state. Donald Trump came here with a message that resonated. He has delivered on his promises and will win it again in 2020. Let's go ahead and take a look at a deeper dive on those historic results. So in a historic showing, President Trump has already surpassed both Bush in 2004 and Barry in 2012 in the national primary vote total. I hinted at this the other day on Super Tuesday, and I am so happy to see this trend continue. There have been 26 primary elections so far in this 2020 cycle, and there are over 24 left on the schedule. President Trump has accumulated 9,347,782 votes so far, and that is just an excellent showing, because in 2004, George W. Bush received almost 8 million, and in 2012, Barry received just over 6 million. Now, President Trump has already surpassed both of those former presidents with over 9 million in primary votes, and the primary season is only halfway through. He's looking very strong despite the liberal media's best efforts to destroy him. It is excellent news, and I just think it goes to show that with promises made and promises kept, the American people are ready to have a president in office for a second time who is willing to do what they say. And after years and years of do-nothing, lame duck presidents who sit in office and collect money, tell us what to do, what to think, and how to act, we are sick of it. Americans are ready for someone who is actually going to go through on their campaign promises, and President Trump is clearly the personification of that. Thank you so much. Now, let's move on to Joe Biden's cabinet nominations. So, although I think that the ultimate winner of yesterday's primary results was clearly President Trump, Joe Biden was the winner on the Democratic side. And with that in mind, he has dropped the names of possible cabinet members in his desperate move to gain additional votes. Now, this includes a whole host of Barry's deep state hacks as well as Pocahontas. Now, he announced several names of possible cabinet members in his administration should he become president. And we can go ahead and see here in this image. It includes John Kerry, Susan Rice, Michael Bloomberg, Sally Yates, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Jamie Dimon of Chase Manhattan, or Chase Bank, whatever they're called right now. Now, he is saying that his former Secretary of State, John Kerry, could return to that role or be appointed to a new cabinet-level climate change position. Very interesting. Now, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, who was never nominated for Secretary of State because of fears she would not survive that confirmation process after misleading the nation about the incident in Libya back in 2012, could find her way to that position in a potential Biden administration. There's also room in that cabinet for 2020 arrivals, which include Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who could be a UN ambassador or a U.S. trade representative. And several also currently under consideration include Biden's running mate Senators Amy Klobuchar and Kamala Harris. The final choice may be up to Representative James Clyburn, who delivered the key endorsement that helped Biden win South Carolina and change the direction of the entire Democratic primary. Now, Senator Josh Hawley has weighed in, and he says here, Biden assembling a pro-China, pro-offshoring, pro-big tech, corporatist potential cabinet. Great news for Wall Street and woke capital, and terrible for workers. I think Josh Hawley is right on there. Should Joe Biden win the presidency, and I don't think there's any chance in HE double hockey sticks he will, it will be bad news for the American public and for the recovering manufacturing sector that President Trump has built up in the last several years as president in his first term. Now, if President Trump is reelected this November, you can guarantee President Trump will continue that trend and America will keep becoming greater. All right, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Just want to let everybody know this is a very special episode today, a public service announcement, if you will. Joining me, as oftentimes they do, are my good friends Methods and Whitehat. Methods, how are you, buddy?
Doing all right, man. How are you doing?
How
are you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit better, not quite 100% yet, but I'm getting there.
Good to hear it, man.
Thanks, bro. And Whitehat, how about you, buddy?
Doing great. Glad to see you're feeling better as well.
All right, I appreciate it. So, like I said, this is a public service announcement. It's not going to be a super long video, but this is something that obviously after, discussing it with all three of us together and others, we decided that it's definitely something that we need to share just so that people can be made aware. So, Whitehat, why don't you tell us what you found in the course of your research?
Okay, so just to give it a little background, some of what I do is I scan the internet, the dark corners of the internet, looking for bad guys, or looking for like exercises with or whatever to practice my craft. And so I came across a very disturbing ad of sorts that I think that everybody needs to see. And you guys agree as well. Just, I mean, as a public service kind of a announcement. And so we've been vetting it for a little while, trying to, we took our time and made sure that it was real. And we have come to the conclusion that it is legit, and we just want people to be aware.
All right. So right now I'm going to bring that up on screen so the audience can see that. So obviously anybody who is watching is going to see the name on the screen that is the hot ticket item in the news right now. And it's still up for debate as to exactly what type of an effect it's going to have in the long term. But tell us, what are we seeing right now? This looks to me like some type of a marketplace where people can purchase things.
That's right. There's different areas like that on the internet where bad guys lurk, and reconnaissance teams and good guys go to try to catch them. And so this someone put out an ad for this material, looking at $1,000.
Yes.
And I did a little reaching out to some buddies of mine, and $1,000 in Kung Fu. I don't know if we can say the town over there, but just for reference,
Far Asia.
$1,000 in that area is really not that much money. It's not like you would think a poor community would be like, oh my God, we'll survive on that for a year. I mean, it's not like that. So it's a bit strange, but there you have it. I mean, you see it right there. It's plain as day. And we've taken our time, and it is what it is. It's a scary thing.
I think that probably the biggest impact this is going to end up having on the world is on the supply chain and on trade between countries, obviously travel. The health impact appears to be most prominent among people who are older, but in general, it does kind of seem to be just right around the same mortality rate as your everyday flu. Is that correct, Whitehat? Would you say that that's a correct assertion?
It's close. I mean, I think you're on the right track with it. I think, definitely more to come as far as the information once it starts getting it. Now, I think from what I'm seeing, it's definitely has a higher rate for, spreading from person to person. It's very, it just seems like it's super, super fast.
More communicable.
But when you look at this ad or whatever, I want everyone to go back and think about what Dr. Redfield of the CDC mentioned, that one of the issues or one of the things that they're trying to nail down is how are some of these people getting this virus and they haven't had any exposure to anyone traveling or anything like that. So when you have people on Twitter that are going around saying, wow, I would love to get the virus and go to a Trump, deal and spread it to everybody there, and then you got somebody selling it like this, I mean, that's, we have to keep our eyes open and like Methods mentioned before, say something.
I mean, it truly is an opportunity. Now, Methods, I'm sure that you remember last week, there was a specific instance of who I believe was a Socialist Party leader in Colorado. And that's exactly what she said, that she was going to make sure that she got this bug, and then she was going to go to a Trump rally. Did you see that tweet?
Yes, I did. And I also saw other people, random people on Twitter kind of, either joking or somewhat serious. They were obviously resistors and all that stuff. And so this conversation needed to have myself, Red Pill here, and Whitehat had the discussion for a while about this on should we talk about this publicly, the pros and cons of doing that, because it is a scary thought to think that it is something ending up on markets that aren't in public. But with that said, this has been reported. It is up the chain where it needs to be as far as this case that Whitehat brought to us to help vet. But we do really believe that this needs to be a see something, say something type scenario. If this is something that's happening, then we wanted to let everybody who follows Red Pill show and all that stuff to be aware of this, keep an eye out for it. If you notice the conversations happening about how can I purchase or how can I sell, reporting it is, needs to happen, as well as, taking screen caps and, saving the area. Don't really engage with them. Just make it aware. Even if you just bring it to us to talk about, we need to make sure that this doesn't become a thing as they're trying to solve how they can, fix this issue and find a remedy for it.
It was already scary enough. The idea that this material would be collected and then shipped globally so that people could, make good on those promises to spread it to people of our political persuasion. But I think it's even a bit scarier now that we are fully engulfed in the spread of it here in the United States. It's spread to several additional states just in the last 24 hours. And as I said, I think that the biggest impact is going to be on the supply chain. I've had so many people sending me images of Costco's and Sam's Club, Walmart, showing that the shelves are just absolutely bare. people without any danger directly of contracting this are in additional danger because they can't even buy toilet paper. They can't buy paper towels. So I think that, as we said, it's not about panic. It's just about being aware. If you do see something like this, you need to go ahead and let people know, and especially let the right people know. But, Whitehat, thinking about the kind of fervor that's growing here in America as a result of this, I mean, do you have any advice for the people of this nation?
Yeah, I think that we need to be smart about this, and everything you said is correct. It probably will get worse before it gets better. We've been saying that for a few weeks now. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And you're going to have people freaking out. Schools are going to shut down. Things are going to get a little crazy, because this is a very all of a sudden thing. I mean, this isn't something that we've been dealing with for years. So trust your government. I know that's kind of wild saying that with this red pill crowd, but trust me when I tell you that the CDC and the administration, the task force, are on top of it. And also do your part in researching information, not panicking, washing your hands, doing what you need to do, and everyone will be fine. We're still hoping that it's going to be a seasonal thing. People are keeping an eye on it. I definitely wanted to say this, though, as a side note. The area that I found this stuff or whatever was not on 8kun, okay? It was not, I repeat, not on 8kun. We're keeping an eye on that as well, but that is not where it came from. So I don't want any of you shills, news people acting stupid and saying stuff that ain't true. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's an excellent point to make, Whitehat. I think that that was something that I was definitely concerned about, making sure that somebody in, the MSM didn't take this story and run with it and try to say that, there is this open market for material like this on 8kun. So thank you definitely for bringing that up. Methods, did you have anything else that you want to add to this that you think people need to know?
Right. Well, I just want to drive the point home that the reason why we're bringing this up is because we are the movement that looks at everything. We want to, and we call it out. Even, if it's something not true, we go find it and point it out. Or if it's something that needs to be known, we do that. So we're just trying to do what we think is right here. So we wanted to present this as soon as we all agreed it was the right idea.
Definitely. Whitehat, how about yourself? Oh, Muffin's here.
I think I've pretty much said everything I need to say. And, just prayers to everyone out there. Stay sharp, stay vigilant.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming today and helping get this segment together. I think this is important information. And as we stated earlier, you guys, if you see anything like this, if you see people on Twitter talking like that crazy woman in Colorado, first things first, make sure that you alert the proper authorities, because that's not something to joke about. No matter, what type of illness or sickness it might be, we're all Americans. And despite how people might act on a personal level, it's in our best interest if we can all stick together and keep our eyes on the prize. All right, guys, thanks both of you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking through that special segment. Please do me a favor and share this video. I think that information is very important, and I do think that people need to be aware of what could potentially be going on. So back into the events from yesterday. Joe Biden won Michigan, but this was after he screamed horses ASS at a Detroit auto worker and said something about AR-14s, which is not something that exists. He totally ran the table yesterday in the primary elections in Missouri, Mississippi, and Michigan. Now, Mississippi was also called a little bit early, but in Michigan, we have some stunning video of him screaming at an auto worker. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So actually, what someone has done has been to juxtapose the footage of Joe Biden interacting with that auto worker next to some footage of President Trump interacting with some firefighters. And I said, what an amazing contrast. Real Donald Trump is a man of the people with all his faculties. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clip from Benny Johnson.
Wait. Take your AR-14s away.
Okay, this is not okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Hey, let's
Don't tell me anything, pal. I'm gonna go outside.
There's a lot of guys.
You're
wanted.
man.
I'm not worried.
Hold
on.
So much.
Give me a break, man. Don't be such a
You're
horsey
pushing
guy.
up on me.
Hey, there's a lot of.
Hey.
Speak to Joe.
Look, here's the deal.
Go ahead, go.
Here's the deal. Are you able to own a machine gun?
Why on a machine
I said, are you able to own one? I'm the law.
Machine guns are illegal.
That's right. So AR-15's illegal.
How is that in a machine gun?
No, it's not.
Semi-automatic.
Yeah, do you need 100 rounds? Do you need 100 rounds?
In America from handguns, and there are what you call assault rifles. Why are you advocating for assault rifles when people are dying by handguns?
Hey, no. Come on, do this.
So just for context, before we see the clip with President Trump, Joe Biden's immediate reaction is to get loud, to throw slurs, to get up into this gentleman's face, and to get defensive when this voter, a Detroit auto worker, says that Joe Biden would be working for him. And he says, I'm not working for you. But the truth of the matter is, as president of the United States, as the representative leader of all of the citizens of this nation, that's exactly what he would be doing. But just look at how that gentleman was treated, and then take a look at the way President Trump treats average, everyday people, and especially some of the most important people, firefighters.
No, it's not.
This is great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That's awesome.
All right, and I think that that shows you everything you need to see. President Trump, in an unscheduled stop, pulls off to the side of the road in his presidential limo, gets out, and to their disbelief, he jumps out of the limousine and runs over and shakes their hands and thanks them for their service. Whereas Joe Biden gets into the faces of people who try to challenge him on issues and calls them names, calls them slurs. President Trump truly is a man of the people, and if there has ever been a leader in the history of this country who knew how to connect with average everyday people, it is President Trump. And this right here is an example of why he will win handily in November 2020. All right, guys, and finally for today, the House Freedom Caucus has made a stand. They are not going to support the FISA court renewal with the current flimsy reform proposals. Here we have the Freedom Caucus right here. And also, I'd just like to say that Matt Gaetz has tested negative for CV-19. That's great news. Now, the House Freedom Caucus has released a statement as of last night. The pro-Trump and pro-American caucus are not going to support the FISA renewal with these flimsy reform proposals that have been put forward. And they still allow corrupt FBI and Clowns in America officials to spy on Americans on ginned-up accusations. Now, we all know that they've long called for reforms of the FISA, and recent revelations that FISA was severely and repeatedly used to spy on a presidential campaign are beyond the pale. If the government can misuse this system to spy on a campaign, they can surely use it to spy on any other American citizen. So now, as Congress is reauthorizing this act, anything short of significant and substantive reforms would betray the trust of the American people, they've said. The House Freedom Caucus will oppose any bill that does not meet a constitutional standard for the protections of American citizens' rights. They also plan to oppose any clean, short-term authorization of the current harmful version of FISA. Now, they're asking for enhanced penalties for abusing the system and additional layers of certification from the Department of Justice and the FBI, saying they are insufficient to gain their support, particularly when to date no one has yet been charged with a crime from the previous abuses, something we're waiting to see with John Durham's investigation here in the spring. So this is very, very good news. I'm very excited about what they've done. Now, keep in mind that March Madness is coming up. We've got the 15th coming up. We've got some interesting deltas that are going to hit with this FISA stuff. And I think that very, very likely it's going to be that the FISA will not be renewed because the proposals that have been put forward are, in fact, flimsy. They are not good enough to address the concerns of not only the House Freedom Caucus, but also of the majority of American citizens. So basically, I think that we are going to see either no FISA at all in the coming weeks, or it is going to be a drastically different FISA court than we have seen in years past. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens, because this type of abuse of power cannot be allowed to continue. And I am so proud right now of the Freedom Caucus and to be an American. Alright guys, please do me a favor, share this video far and wide, don't forget to like before you leave, and make sure that you are entered to win the contest. At 200,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away two $200 gift cards to 2 lucky winners. All you have to do is like, share the videos so people interact with them, and make sure that you comment so you're part of the conversation. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck everyone, and God bless. Hey guys, it's Red Pill. I just wanted to say one more thing. Thank you very much to all my patrons. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel. If anyone wants to help out, there are links in the description of this video below. Please make sure to subscribe to my backup channels in case anything happens here. I will begin publishing there. And if you guys have any questions or tips for me, please send me an email at redpill78@protonmail.com. Also, don't forget to make sure that you have notifications turned on for this channel. When you go to my channel page, there is a little bell. Click that bell and choose all notifications. And if you don't have one already, go sign up on Twitter and follow me there and make sure that your notifications are on. Because even if you don't get a notification from YouTube, I always have a notification that goes out on my Twitter page that lets you know every time I put out a new video. I look forward to reading your messages, I look forward to getting the news to you on a daily basis, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next episode.